Hello everyone, welcome to QAD, that is a question a day. In this series, I'm going to be picking a question from the list of questions that you've asked me and answering them every single day. If you would like to ask me a question, mention it in the comments to this video or DM me and I'll pick your question for an upcoming video. So today's question is from Varun. Varun asks, Ma'am, I failed my CA finals. I'm feeling low and also afraid to try one more time. What should I do? Okay, Varun, so I'm going to pick two words from your question and focus on them for my response. The first word is low and the second word is afraid. Let's look at low first. So I feel that the reason you're feeling low is because you feel you've disappointed the people who had expectations on you. Maybe it's your parents, maybe it's the teachers or the relatives who kept saying, see, our relative is attempting CA, he's going to become a CA very soon and things like that. So the disappointment at not having met their expectations is probably what is making you feel low. And it's not your fault because the expectations that we set on students these days is so high, starting with the school system, where everyone is expected to be in the top 10. If you have a set of 80 students in a classroom, everyone is expected to be at least within the first 10. Even there, it's like first and second is what is considered the best. Nobody cares about the 60th or the 70th person. Forget that. Nobody even cares about the 11th person. Right? So it's very brutal, it's very unfair for children who do not meet those expectations. And parents, knowingly or unknowingly follow the same system. They say, see, this person cleared their CA in the first attempt, why can't you do it? So there is expectations which it's very difficult for people to match up to, right? So I would suggest for you to not play that race any further. So there are people who have cleared CA after, let's say, 5 attempts, 6 attempts, and there are people who've cleared it in the first attempt. So everyone has their own way of doing things. So I would like for you to first not be bothered as much in terms of expectations that are not for you. It's perhaps someone else's expectations. So I would ask you to first tell yourself that I don't have to meet these expectations immediately. So that might help you with the word low. The second point that you've said, afraid. So this is what we call fear of failure, and it's very, very common. In my school and college, I was this really studious person who would always be either first rank or second rank, mostly first rank in my school, and I was all very very happy about that. But if I would get 98, I would wonder where are the other 2 marks. So I was that kind of a person, and I was writing CS, that is company secretary course exams. So when I was writing my CS final I was giving my first attempt, things were not okay at that point, and I was, I think, 21, 22 years old, and I had other things on my mind. So I couldn't concentrate much on studying for this exam, as a result of which I failed. And that's the first time in my entire life of studying that I've failed in an exam. And I took so much pride in being first rank, and then I failed. But because at that point my focus was elsewhere, that I was trying to figure out other aspects, CS did not seem like such a huge thing. So when I received my failure, I thought of 2 things. I actually didn't want to do CS, so I'm glad I failed. That's one thing I thought. And the second thing I thought was, okay, now I have touched failure for the first time. Good. It's a great lesson for me. Let me laminate my failure report card and put it on my wall. So I still have it with me, the report card that I failed it. And it doesn't look like a bad thing for me. I'm glad I did, because now I can focus on what I actually want to do. That's what I thought at that point. So I want you to look at failure as a way of checking 2 things. Check your aim, check your method. So checking your aim means, see if you actually want to do CA. If the answer to that question is yes, then your aim is correct, go ahead. Then check your method. What went wrong? Why did you not clear your CA this attempt? Maybe you didn't focus on topics that you should have focused on. Maybe you didn't study enough, or you panicked during examination. Which aspect of your methodology didn't work? focus on fixing that. So look at failure not as something that's bad, but as a way for you to learn something. And this is related to your next attempt, if you want to do the next attempt. But in general, when it comes to life, I'd like for you to look at fear of failure as inevitable, or failure itself as inevitable, which means every master was once a disaster, and there is no success without failure. I know you've heard of this as an information from people, but you may not have people telling you how important failure is. Most of us are protected from failure from our family, so we tell, yes, failure happens outside, but not for me, because I want to safeguard myself from failure. It doesn't work. So what I'd like for you to do is see if you can actually have conversations with people you know who are successful, or whom you respect, or whom you want to model. Maybe you have a gym trainer who's very successful. Someone in your family has had massive success. Go and have a conversation with them and ask them about the failures that they've had. Most people will tell you that they have been stepping stones in my journey towards success. Look at actors, and I think I remember Ranveer Singh giving an interview somewhere where he said when he was doing theatre, one of the directors told him, you should be in Bollywood, you are such an eyesore for theatre, you don't look good on stage. Now he's such a successful person in Bollywood. So every person who has become successful in their life has had some form of failure. So I would like for you to embrace it as a part of the journey, and not as something that's embarrassing or disappointing the people who have high expectations over you. I hope this helped you.